This is Valley News Live at 5.
Today marks 1 year since the murder of George Floyd, and remembrances around the country have been taking place throughout the day. Valley News Team's JC Dodd joins us live where local activists plan to honor and remember Floyd.
I'm here at Island Park where the Black Lives Matter chapter of Fargo-Moorhead, along with the founder of One Fargo, West Philome, have asked and invited community members and activists throughout the community to gather here to celebrate and remember the murder of George Floyd 1 year ago at the hands of police. They're asking community and activists to meet at the front of Island Park Pool at 6 and are expected to go on until 7:30. Organizers of the event are asking attenders to bring a flower in honor of George Floyd's death. I'll be here throughout the evening to update you, but for now, live in Fargo, I'm JC Dodd, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, JC. Meanwhile, Minneapolis police say officers responded to a report of shots fired near George Floyd Square after 10 this morning. Callers told dispatchers that a vehicle was seen speeding away from the area after shots rang out. A short time later, one person showed up at a nearby hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say their injury is not life-threatening. There's no word yet on any suspects. Floyd's family is in Washington to visit the Capitol and White House. While the family hoped to have a bipartisan law enforcement reform bill passed ahead of this anniversary, congressional negotiators are still at odds over how to police the police. Chris Pallone reports.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
On the first anniversary of his death, George Floyd's family members met with President Biden at the White House.
We're just thankful for what's going on, and we just want this George Floyd Policing Act to be passed in the future.
The family renewing its call for Congress to pass legislation crafted to end fatal police encounters, like the one that killed Floyd a year ago in Minneapolis.
If you can make federal laws to protect the bird, which is the bald eagle, you can make federal laws to protect people of color.
The president eager to sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which has already passed the House but faces hurdles in the Senate.
He said that he doesn't want to sign a bill that doesn't have substance and meaning, so he is going to be patient to make sure it's the right bill, not a rush bill.
The Floyd Act would ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants, prohibit racial profiling, and end qualified immunity for law enforcement, allowing people to file civil suits against the police. That provision appears to be the key sticking point for Senate Republicans. Both sides still optimistic a deal can be struck despite missing the White House's deadline.
I stand here to renew the commitment that we will get this bill on President Biden's desk.
Across the nation, state lawmakers have introduced 3,000 policing-related bills, and more than 30 states have enacted new police oversight laws. Many of those new laws an answer to the outcries for justice for what happened in Minneapolis 1 year ago today.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham suggests as a compromise, citizen lawsuits against police departments could be allowed, but only in cases where serious bodily injury or death occurred. There's no response yet from Democrats on the potential compromise. We've got some pretty decent wind gusts out there. Might be hampering any golfing that's going on. Let's find out if the wind is sticking around this evening. Summer?
Yeah, no golf in my forecast, not with these wind gusts across the valley. Here's a live look, though, at Dakota Magic Casino down in Hankinson, North Dakota. Those flags have been whipping all day long with that stiff breeze out of the west, and it's not going anywhere, at least for several more hours. Here's a look, though, at some of the peak wind gusts reported so far today. 54 miles per hour in Cooperstown, 55 miles per hour in Carrington, lots of gusts into the 40-mile-per-hour range. Here was a photo sent in of the dust and dirt being lofted into the air with these strong winds. This was sent in by Ryan near Edgeley. He says that there were no farmers out working in this field. Just the dirt is so dry and is so easily lofted into the air. Current wind gusts to 44 miles per hour here in Fargo, 36 mile per hour gust in Oaks, 46 miles per hour in Devil's Lake, 41 mile per hour gust recently in Bemidji. So we still have the wind for several more hours. And on top of the wind, we have increasing clouds along with the cold front that's sweeping through and some spotty showers, mostly across the Northern Valley. Andrea, coming up, we'll be talking about a cold next couple of days and some more precipitation in the forecast. Maybe not all of it in complete liquid form.
Okay, thanks, Summer. We're learning more tonight about a Fargo nightclub where police say one of the employees was shot and killed in the parking lot. Fargo police say shots rang out just after 2 on Sunday morning, killing 28-year-old Dominique Dwayne McNair. Police say so far no suspects have been identified. Tonight, Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley dug into violations recorded by the city on the Africa bar and nightclub. She joins us live now in the studio with our story. Bailey?
Andrea, violations against the bar go back to early December 2020 after reports say police found the nightclub's owner Francis Brown as well as several employees and 20 to 30 patrons not wearing masks, and this was at the time when the state had its mask mandate. Now, records from February state that Fargo police officers were called to a disturbance at the nightclub on February 14th just before bar closed for a large fight that was happening in the parking lot. Police stated that while officers were trying to detain those involved, the nightclub's security guards were telling people to drive away and not speak to police. Police say there were still people inside the Africa bar and restaurant after 2 a.m., many of them still holding bottles of alcohol. The bar's owner, Francis Brown, was later charged with a misdemeanor in relation to the incident, pleaded guilty, and was sentenced to 11 months of unsupervised probation. Now, Andrea, I spoke with several neighbors and businesses in the area today who say since the nightclub came to town, it's been nothing but trouble and noise, saying it seems like there's police activity there every other day. Now, I did try and speak with the bar's owner several times yesterday as well as today. However, Francis Brown did decline to make any comment, and he also denied that that victim in this weekend's shooting ever worked at his nightclub. Andrea?
Okay, thanks, Bailey. As of today, the Liquor Control Board has not issued any sanctions on the bar. Authorities in Becker County are looking for the person who they say robbed the Orton's Cenex convenience store in Audubon. The sheriff's office says he passed a note to the clerk demanding cash and stated that he had a firearm. A weapon was not brought out and the clerks were not harmed. The suspect left with cash and cigarettes. He's described as white, about 6 feet, 200 pounds. If you have any information, call the sheriff's office at 218-847-2661. A man is behind bars after police say he assaulted and killed someone. The Beltrami County Sheriff's Office responded to an assault in the 1000 block of Durand Drive around 2 a.m. Friday. They found Burgess Palmore dead, and dispatch audio indicates that he was hit with a 2x4. Scott Schulman was arrested and is being held on unrelated charges. He's expected to be formally charged in that death tomorrow. A child on a bike was hit by a car in West Fargo this morning. It happened around 7:45 at the intersection of 4th Avenue East and 9th Street East, which is between Ellie Berger Elementary and West Fargo High School. Police say the driver of the car stayed there and was not cited. The child was wearing a helmet and has minor injuries. The man accused of setting a bridge on fire in Otter Tail County has been ordered to pay $1 million in restitution. Ryan Johnson was arrested last September for setting fire to the Star Lake Bridge along Highway 41. Investigators say Johnson told a neighbor he was going to blow up the bridge after someone ran over his dog. Matches, ammunition, a single-shot shotgun, and drugs were found inside his home, and authorities found several propane cylinders under the bridge. Johnson has been sentenced to 5 years in prison with credit for time served. He will serve 10 years of supervised probation on top of the jail time. 2 people were ejected from an off-highway vehicle after a deer ran across the road. The crash happened after midnight near Thompson. 28-year-old Michael Lundeen was driving east on 9th Avenue Northeast when a deer ran across the road. The vehicle overturned and both riders were not wearing helmets. They sustained injuries that are not life-threatening. Governor Doug Burgum is ordering flags in North Dakota to fly at half-staff tomorrow to honor West Fargo Police Lieutenant Adam Gustafson. His funeral is at 1 tomorrow, and a ceremony with a 3-volley salute, taps, and a vehicle procession will follow. The funeral is open to the public, and community members are welcome to pay their respects along the procession route. 25th Street will be closed from 34th to 37th Avenue South in Fargo until the vehicle procession has passed. A few schools along the procession route will be dismissed early prior to the road closures. Centennial and Kennedy Elementary Schools will finish classes at 1:20. Discovery Middle School will end their day at 2. All West Fargo city offices will be closed tomorrow, and other law enforcement agencies will be responding to calls in West Fargo. Wednesday and Thursday garbage routes will be collected on Thursday. The officer's funeral will be live streamed at valleynewslive.com and on our Valley News Live Facebook page. Sanford Hospital, or rather Health, says there have not been any cases of heart inflammation in teenagers who received the COVID vaccine in our area. In fact, health officials say the chance of getting it is 1 in 5 million. However, they say you have a higher chance getting it from COVID-19 or respiratory viruses rather than the coronavirus vaccine itself. Sanford says now more than ever, it's important to get the shot.
I think it's going to be fine because I understand, how these discussion about rare side effects can make people take a pause. But even though it's a Moderna vaccine and one is a Pfizer vaccine, they are based on the same mechanism.
Moderna now says its vaccine is safe and highly effective for those ages 12 to 17. It plans to submit its data to the FDA in early June. Still to come, there's an app for just about everything these days. We'll tell you about an app that can identify skin conditions.
I think it's a nice windy day for some kite flying, but maybe want to reconsider that ideal range is between 10 and 25 miles per hour. We are well above that, so it's either going to be tough to control or the kite is going to sustain some damage. Less windy tomorrow, but much colder. I'll do hour-by-hour details next.